Hey guys, so glad you joined us today. We are looking at a passage of scripture that is so practical about recognizing and not walking down the wrong path. I want you to listen in today.
Welcome to Everyday Truth with Kurt Skelly. We believe the Bible is true and relevant to everyone, everywhere, every day. If today's conversation is a help to you, take a moment to leave a review or share it with a friend. Thanks for listening. Now, let's join Kurt for today's episode.
Hey team, welcome back to today's episode of Everyday Truth. As we continue our study in Proverbs chapter 4, we're talking about today the path of the righteous and the path of the wicked and how they are to be compared. Really, really important for us to understand this. Why? Because God is showing us what is ahead. This is like God's roadmap. Have you ever gone on a trip? I'm talking about back in the old days, before GPS and Waze and Google Maps and all Siri and all the things that we use today. You know, back in the day, you actually had to take out a map. Remember the Rand McNally books that you would buy, and you could always get them a lot cheaper the year after. And you just kind of plot out your trip. Okay, here's the way we're going to go. Here's the side road. Here's the shortcut. Here's the mile marker, all of that. Well, that's what God is doing here. God is showing us a roadmap. He's showing us a way and what's on that road and where it goes. And then he's showing us a way and what's on that road and where it goes. So a great comparison in the roadmap that God provides for our lives. Look at verse number 12 of our text, where it says, when thou goest. So Solomon has just said, I've taught you, I've led you, I've given you this roadmap. So now when you go, when you travel on your journey, and the point here is that kids go beyond parents. You know, they go to a time frame that you and I will not live. My kids will live a life beyond me, right? So they will go beyond me. They will go down that path. And so I can't go with them. But I can help them by handing them this map. So Solomon says, when thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened. So in other words, you won't have limited opportunity. When thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. I am giving you a roadmap that will help you to have a stable and safe journey. This is going to be the way by which you can move forward with confidence, because I'm giving you the right way to go, the right way to walk. Verse 13, take fast hold of instruction. So we've read verbs like receive it and hear it and don't forsake it and don't decline from it. All these great verbs in Proverbs, but here, take fast hold of. So just grip it and embrace it, squeeze it hard. That's the idea. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Just hold on with all your might. Don't let it go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Wow. I love the many metaphors it probably would be a good study for me I could probably let Google chat GPT do this for me, but I'd like to just think through a list of all the verbs in Proverbs that relate to our attitude toward wisdom, our attitude toward instruction and understanding, that we are to grab it and keep it, guard it in our life. And what does that mean practically? Well, what that means is, we need to keep it before our eyes. We need to make sure that we're in the word daily. We need to make sure that we're being proactive in the way we remember and apply. But we're just way too cavalier when it comes to truth. We just it's like a take it or leave it proposition. And what Solomon is saying, how can I emphasize this any more than I have with all these metaphors? And to say that this is life. This is so important. It's like me conducting these trips to go to Greece or Israel or these missions trips. And when I send out my final update letter, the thing I emphasize more than anything else is make sure you physically located your passport. Make sure you have a copy of your passport. Make sure you take a picture of your passport. Make sure that you double check your passport. Why? Because if you forget your toothpaste, you can go on the trip. If you forget your whatever, you can go on the trip. There's Walmarts everywhere. But if you forget your passport, you are not going on your trip. So you better find that. You better keep that. You better put it in your front pocket. You better put it in the hotel safe. I mean, you better guard that with everything. That's what Solomon is saying about wisdom. That's what he's saying about instruction. Well, there are other things in life that some people have that some people don't. Some people drive a nice car, some people don't. Some people live in a nice house, some people don't. Some people have good health, some people don't. Some people have athletic ability, some people don't. Some people have, and we could go on and on and on and on. But the one thing that every single traveler needs is that passport. One thing that every single person on earth needs is wisdom. It is life. Do you see the urgency with which Solomon is presenting this information? If you'll see verse 14, here now he enters the discussion about the path. And he says in verse 14 specifically about where not to go. Verse 14, enter not into the path of the wicked. Go not in the way of evil men. So enter not in the path of the wicked. Go not in the way of evil men. Don't you love, again, the verb? A verb drives the meaning of a sentence. And I would say this to you, if you're just new to Bible study, pay attention to the verbs, especially the action verbs in any particular sentence. Why? Because it's really going to give you, it's going to start to unlock the meaning of that passage. So enter, you enter. It's an imperative verb. You enter not into the path of the wicked. What's the best way to deal with sin? Avoid it altogether. The best way to deal with sin, avoid it altogether. Don't make the first choice. Don't have the first drink. Don't smoke the first cigarette. Don't take the first round of drugs. Don't look at that pornographic image the first time. I mean, the point is, don't enter into the path. Don't start down that road. Why? Because once you start down the wrong road, it becomes increasingly more difficult to get back. Understand that the wicked road is downhill. It looks easy. It looks like this is going to be great. This is a nice downhill walk. But the problem is, if you want to get back from that walk, you got to walk uphill. And you're wasting time because you're going to walk all the way uphill and then finally just get back to where you started from. So don't go into that path in the first place. Go not in the way of evil men. So a way to recognize the path of the wicked is to recognize who else is walking down that path. Look at the clientele. Look at the kind of people. Are those the priorities I want? Is that the lifestyle I want? Are those the attitudes I want? It's interesting how it's pretty easy to see what a path is by who walks on it. Just think about that concept, okay? But the Bible gets a lot more explicit here. So look at verse 15. And this may be my favorite verse in all the Bible about the practicality of not choosing the right path or not choosing the wrong path, of making the right decision about what not to do. Look at verse 15. Avoid it. Look at the imperatives here. Avoid it. What? The path. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it. Pass away. So think about all the nuance here that Solomon is bringing into making right choices about not going the wrong direction. First of all, just avoid it. The best thing to do is don't even put it in front of you. Don't even have it as an option. The problem sometimes is that we give ourselves the option to sin. Just avoid it altogether. What are the areas in your life with which you struggle? You know them probably. What are your besetting sins? What are your more nettlesome temptations in your life? Well, avoid it. You know where that thing is. I remember years ago talking to somebody about, they struggled with just drinking and stopping at the bar and saying, Pastor, I just struggle and I know it's wrong and I drive home and it's at that same old bar and I know when I'm going in that I shouldn't be going in. I'm telling myself I'm just going to have a soda. I'm just going to hang out with my friends. I'm not going to have a beer, but before long I do, and it's just, I tell myself I'm not going to. What should I do? I said take a different way home. Don't even go by it. Just avoid it. That's a very practical piece of advice, but that's exactly what Solomon is saying here. He's saying, avoid it. Watch this. Pass not by it. Don't allow it to be in. Some of you maybe struggle with your phone usage or your computer. And sometimes it's as easy as I'm not ever going to have that thing in a private place. I'm not going to have that app. I'm not going to have that access. I'm not going to allow that password access, whatever the case may be. There are myriad applications. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it. So in those cases where you approach temptation, there it is. The best thing to do is turn. Don't flirt with it. Don't consider it. Don't rationalize. Don't think you're stronger than. You're not. The best thing to do in those moments when you're confronted, before you've made the decision, is the longer you wait to make a decision, the more apt you are to make the wrong one. The more you consider the possibility of a wrong decision, the greater your propensity to make that wrong decision. Don't do it. Don't do it. So let that initial knee-jerk, let that initial conviction, let that initial knowledge guide you. Turn from it. Flee fornication is what the Apostle Paul said. The greatest example to me is the example of Joseph, that there was Potiphar in that private situation and he ran and he left his coat right there. Why? He's turning from it. I think Joseph probably was a person that avoided it. I think Joseph was a person that probably passed not by it. But even with the best of intentions, there are going to be situations in your life when you are confronted with temptation, when it's a perfect situation because you're in private and it is seemingly anonymous. And I could just do this right now. And in that moment, turn. In that moment, let your training, let your conscience be your guide and run. Turn from it. I think about that great passage in James chapter 1. Every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust, that means your strong desire, hath conceived. That's a marriage term, right? It's a childbearing term. Hath conceived with what? Lust and enticement. When lust and enticement get together, that equals temptation. And when we succumb to temptation, that's sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So the best way to avoid death is to avoid sin, right? Spiritual destruction, avoid the sin that brings it. The best way to avoid sin is to avoid temptation. The best way to avoid temptation is to avoid its component parts, which is enticement. So what are the things that I want that I shouldn't have? Stay away from those things. Just don't put them within arm's length. Don't go by it. Don't look at it. And then lust, guard your heart, the things that you want. And you can change your desires. I shouldn't have said it that way. You can't change your desires, but God can. God can help retool your desires. So at the same time, you do the best you can to avoid, and then you ask God to help retool the desires of your heart. And then there's prayers like this: lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil. See, all of it goes together, doesn't it? Look at verse 15 one more time. So avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. That would be, I'm going to challenge you, that would be a great verse to put on a 3x5 card, to save on your screen for your phone. And the next time that you are tempted to do something that you know dishonors the Lord, why don't you bring that pithy verse back to mind? Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. That's it for today. Didn't get far, but wow, a lot of great Bible principle for us today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Until then, God bless you, my friends.